What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome to the show, man. I need to go ahead and fix shit up. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the breakdown episode. Can I get a drink here? I'm only late because of Landy. Episode 758, sponsored by Midnight. Also sponsored by Polymarket. Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. Also, Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet. You want to hold your Litecoin, Bitcoin, Monero, or Zcash in a secure wallet, you go get Cake Wallet. Go to the App Store or to the Google Play Store today. I sounded like a goddamn commercial and shit. Oh, that wasn't. G Markets. That's right, gmarkets.io. You can go ahead and check that out for the latest listings and the latest data on all your favorite crypto assets. More to come on G Markets and what we're doing there. Also, Gokhshtein PR, if you want to elevate your brand, work with the best, me, okay? I'm impossible to ignore. And Gokhshtein.com, I promise it's coming out today. I just as I was about to hit the go button, we need to fix, there's an error. We need to fix it. Working on it right now. I wish I would have had it up here for the show. Let's see if this shit fixed. No, it's not fixed. Fucking sucks. I don't know what went wrong. All right. Anyway, let's get started. We got Landy in the back. He'll join us for 10 minutes here to go ahead and maybe break down the markets. I don't know. Yesterday, I was absolutely disrespected by Bits. He said that my hair compared to Cade's, like I'm secondary or some shit. He said some shit like that. He needs to know his role and shut his mouth. That's what he needs to do. Okay, that's all I'm fucking gonna say. Come at the king's hair, bro. Talking about. I ain't saying nothing bad about Cade, but I'm just saying what the fuck you talking about, bro. Anyway, let's bring in Landy. Landy, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Morning. I'm enjoying the markets. Nice moves in the markets post FOMC yesterday. So got some opportunity that has presented itself. We'll see. We'll see kind of what happens throughout the rest of the week here, coming in towards the end of the month. So I know everybody was looking at a lot of the conversation surrounding markets at this particular moment is all about the hawkishness of Warsh's words during the press conference. But quite honestly, the economic data speaks for itself, right? And said this yesterday, said it right along when it comes to inflation. Just look at oil. If it's headed up, probably going to see inflationary pressures continue to rise. If it's headed down, we're probably going to see more room for the potential of a rate cut near the end of the year. But it really is going to depend on the oil prices and if they find a higher ceiling or not, right? So we just went up and we hit some pretty important areas of interest overhead for oil. And, and then a little bit of a rejection today. So we went up and we hit 84 to 86 as a zone and then popped right back down. So it does, whether you're into commodities markets, traditional markets, or crypto markets, it is worth watching. An interesting post that I saw this morning.
From me?
Yeah, it was actually not from you, although I did like your post. I just saw it. There was Crown put a post up that I actually think is pretty interesting. He said yesterday a 9-3 Fed vote with 3 dissents for a hike, meaning 3 chairmen wanted a hike.
Yeah.
And of course, Warsh is refusing to give guidance forward. No dot plots, no guidance for the markets. He wants the market to dictate and then the Fed to react to what the markets are doing. So he wants things to be market led, not Fed led. He said stocks had their worst day since worst Fed day close in memory, and yields are up on bonds, right? Which is usually all bearish recipe. He said that's 3 times in 1 week that Bitcoin ignored bad news that hit equities. There was the Korea chip market crash, semis with the red dildo of destruction.
What the fuck are we talking about right now?
There's red candles, red dildos.
We're definitely going to be off of TikTok. Go ahead, keep going.
Technical term. Yeah. Sorry, TikTok. And it was, technically one of the most hawkish speeches that we've seen in a while. But yet, Bitcoin's up 9% in the month still. So his point is that when an asset it stops going down on bad news, they've run out of motivated sellers. I basically quoted this and said, I don't really have much to add. Oh, wait, except I do have something to add. I said, just because there aren't many motivated sellers right now doesn't mean that we won't see forced sellers. So I agree with him that all this bad news is hitting, but it's not really having an effect on Bitcoin's price action and and by extension, a lot of the cryptocurrency market, although we have seen some bigger moves in lower caps. I agree that most of the market shrugging off a lot of this bad news is good. And it does mean that there is some exhaustion for sellers, right? There's not a big motivation to continue selling in this area. But what I would say is that does not, even though I agree, that does not rule out that there won't be forced sellers later. And that's typically what we see in a final capitulation move in markets. Doesn't mean we're even going to get one, but still a high likelihood. Especially if the economic conditions do change as we progress through the summer into fall, in particular, with any kind of sustained um, higher floor and higher ceiling on oil prices. But for right now, markets are green. There's a lot of opportunity that presented itself. A lot of key areas got hit to the downside yesterday as well in markets. So now it's a matter of, is this bounce going to turn into something more, or is it just a bounce before we continue down?
Keep going because I'm retweeting the room for us.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much.
Keep
There's
going,
not
Puppet.
there's not too much else outside of. I would pay close attention to the bond markets. One of the things that we did see post FOMC yesterday is we saw a lot of selling off in the bond markets, which pushes yields higher. But now we've seen quite a strong buyback, and there is some room. There's a bit of room between the 2s and 10s that we have not seen in quite some time. So look, I'm going to take the more optimistic approach versus what the timeline is. The timeline's very bearish. Everything's going to collapse. And I am still looking for a larger correction. Maybe this is a portion of that larger correction for equities markets, but this is the time frame. August into September, somewhere around there. I wouldn't be surprised to see a larger correction. If this is already in play right now, then we're likely going to see it a little bit earlier. Otherwise, I would still be looking for it to come a little bit later. But we live in a world where, Scott Bessent, the Trump administration, and the economic team there have indicated well before Trump was elected that they wanted to be part of a monetary reordering, specifically stated as that. And what's interesting is that we have now heard from European nation leaders, and more importantly, and I think this is kind of the canary in the coal mine for the old system and the old guard, is Carney in Canada, right? He's
Yeah.
a former central banker. He's straight out of London, straight off the streets of London and the financial sector. Has also now capitulated and admitted that the world has fundamentally changed. The old order is dead. Now, this is not the first time that he said it, nor have other European and Western leaders said this. And in fact, the Trump administration indicated this on many of their meetings overseas as well. And I think that it's difficult for many people right now, especially the quote unquote experts, to really kind of figure out as the ground shifts beneath us that those models that you're clinging to are changing, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know until it's hindsight. And I think a lot of them are having difficulty projecting the economy in this kind of new world that I think Bessent and the Trump team have really pushed forward and started to build. And I think we will see, this is the transitionary period, but I think no matter what happens in the midterms, in the next 2 years, we will see the fruits of the labor, of the groundwork that has been laid here in the United States, specifically regarding energy, energy production and exports, and then manufacturing investments and growth of the actual real economy, not just growth of the economic indicators of inflation that are being used out there to push for GDP, which is a broken metric for growth. Because typically GDP grows when you see price inflation. Then they go, look at GDP's up, we're growing. Yeah, but everybody's losing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not the real underlying economy. It's prices that are pushing quote unquote growth. Well, everything else is withering around it. And they are trying to fundamentally change that in the system underneath. And I think we're going to start seeing that GDP might soften a little bit. You're going to hear a lot about recessions. And it did. In fact, Q over Q today just came out. Projection was 2.1% GDP. We're at 1.5. They're going to start screaming about stagflation. They're going to start screaming about potential recession. But the fact of the matter is, when you get price deflation, you should see GDP come down. And then over time, what we'll see is the growth of the real economic drivers behind the scenes that will eventually lead to GDP growth that is healthy for regular folks instead of people getting killed via GDP growth while they tout it in our face and shove it in our face about how great we're doing when it's all just price inflation. I think now we're going to start to see that deflationary pressures hit. As long as oil can stay low and continues to trend lower, we will see real economic growth here in the United States. So I'm taking a more optimistic outlook on things.
Optimistic Landy. That's weird.
I know. It is
I'm
a
like,
little weird.
I'm like,
Yeah.
who's really behind that puppet today?
Well, I had some really good conversations yesterday with my therapist.
Thank
And my
God.
therapist was like, you need to be more positive. You need to be a positive puppet. You need to be a giant positive puppet or a giant peepee.
What the fuck is going on? I was going motherfucker. Two questions real quick. One, I found it very disrespectful that Bits came at me yesterday.
Well, look, Cade is a good looking dude, right?
Yeah, but like
I think
set
he
the
was just trying to
standards
show
respectfully.
support for his boy.
I get it, but like the disrespect to
Yeah, you-
disrespect an icon. This is like me, like you know when motherfuckers try to disrespect Jordan and shit
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the court as he's playing and like he's not having a good game, and
Yeah.
then like you know they're talking shit and he had this one game Jordan. He only had like 19 points and they were like really taking it to him. It was the Hornets, and they started talking shit from the bench like Bits, and then Jordan just blew them out. So like, watch out, Bits. I'm just letting you know, man. Just fucking watch out, bro. I'm gonna steamroll you.
Well, here
I'm gonna run up into one of your spaces and fucking run circles around you. Look
You
at me,
don't-
look at me. I'm Bits. Hey guys, tune into my show. We're gonna do horoscopes.
I think Bits needs to remember that you don't have to put others down to lift someone up.
There you go. There you go. Love to hear it. Landy has a show at 9 p.m. Actually, excuse me. It was yesterday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed out, you can go ahead and replay it. Okay, you can check out Landy's page or you can check out the Gochstein page, and you will go ahead and see him breaking down the markets. Landy is him. Okay. By the way, before you go, Landy, you did say something yesterday. If anybody was fucking watching, if anybody was fucking listening, you would have heard Landy say it was right in the beginning as he started talking. I don't usually give the puppet credit because I don't want to blow up his head. More than obviously it is already.
Yep.
But he came in here and he said, if you're in the markets, you kind of get it and you understand where he was coming from. But for those who refuse to do any sort of fucking research, he said, well, you said something like that you expect the markets to go down once they come out with the news, but then you expect it to rebound.
Yes.
So if you were listening, you could have put yourself in a really good position. I'm just saying. I don't know, could have shorted the market, longed it.
There were quite a few that were watching yesterday that did that and were very, very successful. I will say it's not for everyone. Definitely is not for everyone.
Yo, bro, get your boy out of here. This guy Ryan who talks so slow on spaces, man. Ryan, stop it.
I love
Don't
Ryan.
make
Shout
me,
out to
man.
Ryan. Ryan's the quant, bro. Like Ryan's got the alpha. He's like the research quant. He brings us some killer stock picks. Whew.
Listen, SpaceX, we talked about SpaceX holding off.
Yeah.
That was a good
SpaceX.
thing. That was a good thing because I'm waiting for it to go lower so I can buy in.
There's going to be something important regarding SpaceX is they're going to have their earnings report soon. That's going to initiate one of the larger unlocks for IPO, right?
Yeah.
So pre-IPO investors will be able to to sell. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. If they rush in to take profits here, if they let price rise and then start taking profits slowly, that could potentially lead to, I would love to see $100 SpaceX and under, right? I think it's all opportunity, $100 and under. And quite honestly, you're going to get a lot of folks that are going to be like, no, below IPO price at 135, I'm comfortable, which is fine, right? But you might have to endure, a sustained drawdown through some of these unlocks, if that is the case. But yeah, definitely worth holding off. Um, did you see? Did you see Elon's reply about his wealth distribution?
No.
Okay, so somebody, I think it was a Nobel Prize winning, a Nobel laureate. I believe they said something about distributing your wealth when you pass or something.
Yeah.
And he said, I have plans to do so. And I was thinking to myself, could you imagine
If he gave it to
if
me,
he, I don't think he's going to give it to you, David. I'll be quite honest. But what if he started to distribute a large amount of stock in his companies to Trump accounts?
I
Because
knew
you
I knew
get
that's where you
locked
were
up.
going with it. Yeah.
What if he did that? That would be wild because, he could distribute just, like $100 billion worth of shares,
Yeah.
and immediately you've got millionaires all over the place in
Yeah,
those
but
accounts.
at the end of the day, that's one thing. Before you go, I want to say, you do that kind of thing, and I think that's commendable and respectable. But when if everybody becomes a millionaire, then nobody works, kind of thing.
That's very true. Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's a great thing, but that's also kind of like, think about it. It's like, it's not socialism, but it's kind of, you get it, concept. It's
Yeah.
kind of, but it's it's nice. I wish everybody was a millionaire, but unfortunately, the realistic part is like, you need workers, and that's in the capitalism. If you're talking about capitalism, you need people that work.
Look, if everybody's a millionaire, nobody's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Landy, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best to ever do it. Ryan, maybe you can learn from Landy. Shots fired. Right. Check out Landy tomorrow. Show goes on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe if you're lucky enough, Ryan, you might be invited onto the show. Not my show, maybe Landy's show. Shots fired again. Don't ever come at me, son. Anyway. Landy, as always, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Take care, brother. Much
Don't
love.
come at the fucking king. What the fuck you coming at? I'll throw you. Oh, river dance on you, man. I'm just. Puppet's laughing, by the way. He's muted. You can't see the mute. He's muted. Okay? He's muted. Of course, this is a fucking great show. You need me in your fucking life. Have you guys looked in the mirror? You look homeless. I'm inspirational. I should inspire you to do better. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Puppet's gone. I'm gone, but I'll be right back. Commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy to use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the breakdown. You're welcome. I have a guest coming on here today. She's in the green room. She's throwing a tantrum. She's in the back flipping me off now. It's kind of weird. Flipping me off. Maybe I should just make her stay in the back. Fuck it. She can watch this entire show from the back. That's right. Nah, I'm kidding. Listen, I got somebody coming on here. They have a show on this network. They are listen, I've told her this so many times. I think she's a superstar, man. Shit, she brings that electricity, man. And I'll showcase it right now. Taylor, what's going on, man? How's everything going?
David, thank you for that. Can I just ask though? I mean, very, very, I'm flattered, you know.
Did you want me to say that you suck or like?
No, but we're all about you. First of all, you read me out the other day, which we can talk to everybody about. I'm happy to, rightfully so. It was not unwarranted, but you're all about calling out the elephant in the room, calling things out. Okay, number one, I've been on this network for what, a year? This is my first time on your program. Secondly, you invite me, 10 minutes late, you bring me, I don't know what to think. I'm like, is he playing hard to get? Is it too much feminine energy for this chat? Like, what's the deal, David? You want to call
Hold on one second. Hold on.
You want to call a spade a spade? Then let's just do it.
I'm texting my therapist. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me.
No, wait, not the first
Hold
time.
Hold on. You could have came on this show whenever you wanted to come on this show.
That's news to me.
Were very distant. Okay, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Okay.
Wait.
Bottom line, you're too busy. Okay, you're too busy to come onto this show. Meanwhile, Rob has no problem. By the way, Rob is probably fucking fuming at me because I didn't come on to his show yesterday. I couldn't come on, by the way. Could not come on to his show yesterday. And he usually texts me. By the way, I just want to say, he usually texts me. I've heard radio silence. I think he's done with me. But not about Rob.
All of it. It's a little microcosm. Even you guys watching, I hope that you witnessed this, what David just did. What do you know? A guy on the internet doing some mental pretzel gymnastics to make it make sense. That's new and different. I've never seen it, David. I've never seen it. No, I'm excited.
For those who don't know about you, Taylor,
yeah,
when did you start doing content? Like, when did you first dive into doing? When did you decide you wanted to be or participate a part of this mental illness? That's where I'm going with this. Yeah,
that's probably why I am like mentally ill in this realm, because I saw it. But like the TikTok kids, as Dave Portnoy calls them, like the dick wigglers, because that's all they do is like wiggle their tits and dicks for likes. They could never. Like, I was doing this way before any of these clowns, or as I call them, the copy and paste influencers, right? Who are like robotic, dead behind the eyes. But similarly to you, was always like a little bit of a ball buster in media. So I started off as a red carpet reporter in Hollywood, but I hate it already. This was like 10 years ago. Before that, I was a writer producer at MTV VH1, still busting balls over there. but let's cut to the chase.
I didn't know that. This is the first time.
The more
I didn't know that. Now I'm sitting back.
The more you know.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Carson Daly kind of thing?
It's funny you say that because I worked in the TRL building. Yes, that's where I started. And you will like this because you do buzz balls. So I was a producer at VH1, but I knew I wanted to be a writer, like interview celebrities, do editorial. So I'm like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed out of college, like a year in. And I went up to like basically the SVP of editorial. And I basically was like, I'm going to write for you. He's like, okay, just show me what you got. I was like, no, but I didn't give him a choice. So I wrote for him for free for a year while I was a producer. Did that. Then he hired me, obviously did that, got that under my belt. A year after that, I was like, I'm moving to LA. I want to do red carpet reporting. Same thing. Didn't really give him a choice. I was like, you guys can roll with or roll out. He's like, we'll send you to LA. So I started, and very much too, my journey was always like content before its time, TikTok before its time, and cancel culture before its time.
Yeah.
I was a writer at VH1 before I started red carpet reporting. Talk about therapy, David. I called out Chrissy Teigen in an op-ed, calling her the biggest Twitter hypocrite cyberbully. Well, she didn't like it. So she came for me and for VH1, tried to have me fired. They suspended me. And I was like, I said what I said, I quit.
Yeah.
So that's when I started red carpet reporting. But I didn't have, first of all, I was onto all the bullshit. I hated like the fake, the squeaky. I didn't have a fancy cameraman. I was just rogue. I was writing and reporting for huge outlets, but I was like, this is all bullshit. So basically I started what now we see everywhere, but I interviewed the celebrities on a selfie stick and got them to like, you would think we were like shooting the shit at the bar, talking about actually real provocative things, and got them to be totally human. And then it just snowballed from there. I started my show. I had my Playboy feature in which I'm the only woman, little humble plug.
Wait, what do you mean you're the only woman?
You on like the planet on this program, actually.
No, the way you said I was the only woman. So like, what were there, men getting butt ass naked? Like what are we talking about?
Well, these days. No, I'm the only woman, David, to I don't even know if you know this, to have both posed and was featured in the masthead as a writer in the same issue of Playboy in a feature I pitched all on free expression. And I talked about cancel culture, all that. So all that to say, even cancel culture, my show was called Cancel Me Baby at some point, right in the height of 2020, the pandemic, all that. And now you have all these fuckers coming out of the woodwork. Oh, censorship, canceled. I'm like, fuck. Well, okay, I've only been saying this 6 years. I'm bored. So
you were butt ass naked. Like you were butt ass naked in Playboy, or it was just like a written article in Playboy?
I'm tempted to. I have the print copy. I'm almost tempted to show a peek, but I'm like,
not right now. Let's not show peaks right now.
I gotta make a buck somehow. These girls are making a fortune showing their buttholes. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna not that I show mine, but I may as well make a buck on it. But yeah,
we have a lot of virgins that are tuned in right now, and I don't want to. Oh. I just don't want that kind of feedback.
Are you censoring me? Are you censoring me?
No, I'm not censoring you,
me, baby.
I'm not. No. I'm protecting them.
Oh, okay.
I'm protecting them. I have a lot of virgins that come onto the show. True. Especially the trolls that watch, and then they would see you butt ass naked, and they'll be like, and all right,
whole new world. But yes, but it's very tasteful. No spread eagle.
Okay. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 758.
Let's go.
Everybody's like, where have you been hiding her? I haven't been hiding her. You should have been tuning in. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I haven't been hiding. I take offense to that you came on here and you said, oh, finally you invite me. Like, you could have asked yourself, David, can I come on to your show? Can we go ahead and have a conversation? You never reached out. If we're going to talk about it, if we're going to actually talk about it and air it out, you wanted to come on here and put me in a position like I've been hiding you.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm so glad you guys are seeing that. We need to clip this. We need to send it to anyone who will have it. This right here, this is the mental gymnastics men. Is this the
I think
telepathic
this
shit
is
men do?
so disrespectful.
Wait, I saw this hot girl at the bar, but she didn't ask me to. I thought.
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what it is? Here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I've invited Taylor on multiple times. She never wanted to come onto the show, okay? Her head is so big, okay, that she's like, when my schedule fits in, I'll come onto your show. Can you imagine that? You work with somebody on the same network, but you won't come onto their show. That doesn't even make sense. And that's the truth, Taylor. You didn't want to come onto my show. Okay, you didn't want to bless my audience with your presence. Now you had time in your schedule to come onto my show. Why are you so flustered? Why is your face looks like it's a little bit red, and it's not due to makeup?
You know what I'm thinking? This guy has balls. Okay, this guy who's all, tell it how it is. You know what's pressed under that nice seal press suit is his lies. That's right. With a little pin on top. Yeah, I see her little pin. That's right. Concealing, sucking in all the lies. This from the guy who reamed me out last week. Taylor, you're not really saying what you think. Okay, we're going to say what we think.
You aren't saying shit. You weren't saying shit.
No,
you brought on guests that put me to sleep. I caught a concussion watching your show. You know why? Because it started off great because you were talking, and then they came on, and my head hit the desk, and I fell on the floor, and I woke up 3 days later. I had a bump on my head and a concussion. Okay, you know. All I'm saying is
giving Humpty Dumpty. Then Humpty Dumpty David. That's what I'm gonna call. Okay,
and let them get offended. Wrong. You know why? Because you shouldn't be interviewing people that aren't on your level, that can't hold a book. Like check this out. Hold on, let me show you something. Shout out to David Goggins. He'll be on the show. Never finished. You see how I point this book out here? I can read also. See how I'm pointing this book? It says never finished. You can actually see this dude on her show. He had the audacity to be on Mirror and comes on here, and the shit is like this. I'm trying to figure out, and this is how I got knocked out, caught a concussion, fell on the floor. I'm trying to see what's the name of the book.
Wait, does David normally, is he all riled up because he has a woman on, because there's tits in the chat, or is he normally like this? Like, I'm asking for
you came on here. You came on here. You woke up with violence. Okay, you came on to the show. You were running your mouth at like 95 miles per hour. I just got to go ahead and say, hold up. I've been nothing but supportive. I've told people she's electrifying. She can go ahead and dominate the airwaves, and the audacity that you have to come on my show and try to undress me. No pun intended.
David, you're a tri-state guy. What? Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. David, I just like
Playgirl, call me up. Call me up. I'll do my own spread too.
Wait, first of all, just like Chrissy Teigen, I bring, and just call me CVS. I have the receipts. I will show you all the texts with David. Taylor, want to come on my show? Goose egg, nowhere to be seen. That aside, speaking of Playgirl, can we talk about, I know we're running out of time, because you almost like stood me up on your own show. It's fine. Like, guys, go see women. But
wow.
Can we talk about the thirst traps on your Instagram? I feel like I never hear you talk about it. And the time is now.
I'm proud to show off my body. You know what? I have European DNA in me. Let me tell you about you motherfuckers out here. Hold on 1 second. In Europe, we walk with our balls out, okay? And nobody's wearing underwears, nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. That is a god. That is a god.
Oh,
you guys should say thank you. Yes, say thank you. Look at you.
Do you want to arm wrestle? I don't want to embarrass you, but
embarrass me. First of all, you see, this is what I'm talking about. I work so hard. People should be saying thank you. You have inspired me. Or at nights when you get lonely, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm saying in general, I'm trying to be inspirational. I'm trying to take care of myself and be around forever.
We'll call it that. I just don't, you know, someone, David, has to keep you in check. You know, I'm a tri-state bitch. I just don't want you to get too big for your britches. That someone will be me. It's
You thirst
fine.
trap like crazy. What the fuck? What are we even talking about?
'Cause
You walk
said-
around butt ass naked. What are we talking about?
I'm
Here's
not mad at the thirst traps. I
pull
like
up those
it.
fucking, hold on. Pull up the fucking pictures where you're walking across the street butt ass naked. Go ahead.
Listen.
You're talking about me?
I'm
I'm
not
in
mad.
the
I'm
sauna.
not mad. It's on X Scoop, you guys.
Can you imagine this? Here's a woman talking about I'm thirst trapping. She's walking some street. I don't know where that is. New York City, could be Tennessee, could be California, walking across the street butt ass naked. What are we saying here right now? What are we talking about?
I like your thirst traps. In
Okay,
fact,
there you
if you want to say, Taylor, I've lifted you up, you're electric. I'm saying the same thing about you. I'm going, they're the unsung heroes. Why aren't we giving them the notoriety they deserve? You see, like, I'm just, you know, scratch my back, scratch yours. You see, that's all I'm doing here.
You know, I'm holding back a little bit here, guys, because you know we're on TikTok. So when I breathe the wrong way, they fucking limit my reach. We're probably, by the way, we're definitely 100%. Probably. Hold on, let me see. They probably limited my visibility. By the way, when Rob comes on this show, it's an instant. As soon as he starts speaking, I'm already fucking banned on there. Like it's crazy. And I always tell him like, watch. Anyway,
I'll give him a
let's. What do you? Real talk.
Yes.
Real talk.
Yes.
When you look at these, like everybody goes around and they really, you have people out here talking about their content creators. Everybody's out here literally.
Audacity. No.
So does it mean, are you automatically a content creator just because you bought yourself a camera and you have a microphone and you're speaking into it? Like, is that what it is now? Like everybody's I'm just
David's trying to rage bait me because he knows I feel a type of way about this topic.
No, but that's the truth. Like I'm asking you, like we've talked about. Is everybody a content creator and an influencer because they've turned on a mic once? Like, for me, I take this seriously. I'm 10 plus years in the game. Like you've been here for a long time. Like I think I earned the label of being like, I don't even want to be known as a content creator, like a media personality, somebody who's out here breaking it down, bringing on people like yourself and others to have a conversation, a realistic conversation. But now anybody turns on a camera and they're an influencer and they're a content creator. Like, I just don't fucking get that, man. That this participation era is so, I want to say so many things, but it really unnerves me to see everybody get the fucking label. What are your thoughts, man?
David, it is a fucking disease. Okay. It is trash. It is audacious. It's what I call literally the mindless brain dead robot Olympics. And I, unfortunately, for better or worse, was in LA, right? In the epicenter of this trash, what now is influencer culture, in the infancy, in the very beginning. And it was already insufferable. Like imagine now you can't even go get a fucking coffee in peace. But now it's literally so audacious. Like the fact that, right, you have us who, you know, and again, fine, free fair market. I hear you guys talk about capitalism. Yes. And that's where I struggle with it because I'm like, whatever, if they're successful doing their thing, why are you going to knock them on this? On the other hand, it's like, there's literally, what are you offering the world? I'm sorry. There's nothing creative. Get the fuck out of here about following some copy and paste, this text, this kick, this. Literally, what are you offering the world? What is the point? What is the purpose? Do not get it twisted. This is not purpose. This is not art. There's, like I said, there's nothing creative about it. I think that it is audacity. I think it's disgusting. And I do think though, where I kind of see a reckoning because I also, and I don't know if you know, I mean, you may know this, but since my red carpet days and interviewing celebrities, right? I've also expanded. I interview people. I've interviewed Tucker Carlson, Dave Portnoy, people in politics, tech, working with a ton of AI sites. And so what I do see on the whole for the us, is AI is these content creators, quote, and influencers should be fucking shaking because let me tell you, these AI influencers obviously they don't sleep. So they're going to run. So they are going to put these people out of a job, do what they do. If you're a robot anyway, a robot's going to outpace you. So what is going to survive in the rapture is the real, like you cannot, no robot can replicate the human. I hate this word because it's so whitewashed and watered down, but authenticity. So that's like the true thought leader rebellion. Those are the people who are going to break through. You know, all the more reason that you pick Talk to Me Taylor to be on GNA, because we're going to be the survivors. No, but it's true. But it's disgusting, David. I recently went to an influencer event here in Nashville, like a women's wellness thing. These people are completely self-involved, self-absorbed, vapid. Literally, I was trying to actively not give them resting bitch face the entire time and judge them. Like it's sick. It's a disease. And that's what I think.
What are you going to be looking? Well, I'm going to love bringing you on the show every single week to just talk about random topics. Here you obviously are getting introduced to my audience, which you refuse to come onto my, I don't know, a year, refuse to come onto my show, acknowledge my audience, acknowledge my people that tune in from all over the place to showcase what you bring to the table. But now that you'll be coming on weekly here for 15 minutes, you know, what are you looking to do, by the way, before you go with the Talk to Me Taylor show? Like, what is that going to be about now, being that you got this new fire and passion inside of you, where you almost motherfuckered me during a fucking meeting?
No, I actually did. I was holding it back, and I was like, "Do I do my verbal Tourette's on David or not?"
Did you motherfucker me once we were off? Like, be honest. Like, let's be true. Did you motherfucker me?
I got most of it out. No, I got most of it out.
Okay.
Rob got a little of the leftovers, but I got most of it out. You know, David, thank you for asking. And that's why I'm glad that you like in a nice way rip me a new asshole, because for 10 plus years, whether I was in mainstream media calling out the machine from inside of it, my own show, my red carpet interviews, talking to these thought leaders, people in politics, it was always like it was predicated on getting to what's real in a world that's so fake. Like, cut the bullshit and saying what people are really thinking. And I'm glad that you gave me a wake-up call and had a little intervention, because I always kind of did on the surface. People would say, like, you're so fearless, you say what I think. But it was like the tip of the iceberg. Like, when I'm unleashed, it's like basically everybody watch out, no one's safe, and like, you'll need therapy. But I'm hoping to really actually do what you said. It's like I have nothing to fucking lose. As I told you, I'm broke. I may be homeless. I am freezing my eggs. After 10 years on this journey, I was scrubbing restaurant toilets like a year and a half ago. I'm like, what the fuck else do I have to lose? So it's like really what I've been preaching this whole time, but actually, and that's what it's gonna be. That's that. By the way, the reason you're in my living room and actually on my couch is also because of you, because we also tore down the green screen. So we're in the middle of reconstruction.
Can I tell you, like, it looks so fucking good now, and I'm sure it's going to look even better.
Are you joking? Like, my head is
No,
on
I'm not joking. I'm being honest.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because the gamer thing, yeah.
Yeah, the gamer's gone.
Okay, it's a work in progress, but I thought
Taylor wasn't a fucking gamer, okay? I don't know who told Taylor you look like you were playing Fortnite, okay? Like,
that is what he looks like.
Okay? You look like you were playing Fortnite or Call of Duty, okay? I don't know what Rob put together over there, okay?
But if we want to be honest, it was your editor guy that you had at that one point. I said to Rob, you look like you're in a jail cell.
Fire him. Fire them all.
No, Rob looks like he's 2 cells down from Andrew Tate. I'm like, what the fuck? Same thing with mine. Like, I don't even know. Anyway, you guys are seeing the work in progress.
All right.
All thanks to one David Gokhshtein. What can I say?
When's your show? When is the Talk to Me Taylor show air on the Gokhshtein Media Network? Go ahead.
I'm so glad you asked. Well, technically tonight at 7 Eastern, but I want to start kicking off next week back to my old schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 Eastern. What do you think?
There you go.
What do you say?
There you go. You got it. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. I will not stop you. But you can see Taylor on here every Thursday at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we break down. So this is your introduction to her. After this, we break down shit unfiltered. We talk about the markets. We talk about trending news. We're going to get into that ass, okay? Politics, no holds bars. I'm going to ask her if, obviously, my suspicions are very, I know I'm right on this one. Rob Nelson voted for Kamala Harris, and we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about everything. Okay. So come back next Thursday, 12:45 p.m. Make sure you got your notifications on. But Taylor, who's a fucking genius, has been a genius in this game. We're going to take it to new levels. Okay.
That part, what he said.
What I
said.
And
as for me coming on, per whatever you think, I'll check my, calendar. I'll check with my people, my assistant, and, make sure I can make it to come on your show.
Whatever.
As for what you think.
Nice to have you on, Taylor. You look really good. The background looks better.
I got a new haircut yesterday, and you should feel so special because I'm debuting it on your program here. So
and I feel real. I feel a certain way now. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for also liking my thirst traps and showcasing it here live on this show today. I
don't like them. I love them. And maybe enough if I do enough telegrams, carrier pigeons, whatever it has to be. You'll make your way onto my show. We'll see. Remains to be seen.
Taylor, everybody. Follow her. I put her handle in the show's chat on all the networks. Go ahead and give her a follow. She's on X. She talks shit. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a hell of a ride. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate you.
Thank you, David, and your tie and your pin.
I'm going to take some Tylenol now after this. Thank you, Tim. That was Taylor, everybody. Give her a round of applause. We'll be right back. We got Zach coming on. All you, I'm sure the TikTok heads. I'm sure the TikTokers. I know they asked me to bring Zach on, and I can't wait to talk about the markets and XRP. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. Man, I had to loosen up my tie after Taylor came on. All right, we got a good guest on here. I've read about him. You guys have called out for me to bring Zach on here, so let me just get the overlay in place. Where the hell is the overlay? Oh my God, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and bring him on right now. Zach, what's going on? Pleasure to have you on. You're muted. It always happens. You're muted. Take your time. Don't worry. I love having the live show. These things happen. These things happen. Um, let me just see. Hold on. Don't worry. You can go ahead and come right back. We will have Zach on. A lot of you guys know we're going to talk about XR. Hold on. Let me just bring him into the stream because I wanted to have a conversation. Zach, are you with us? Unmute yourself. Look at the controls here. There should be an unmute button. It usually mutes everybody, and then you have to go ahead and unmute yourselves when you come on. No, I still don't hear you.
What about now, David?
Yeah, there we go. Let's go.
Okay.
Guys, it's a live show. Things happen. It's good to have you on here. I appreciate that you took the time out here to come on for 15 to 20 minutes.
Absolutely, David. It's a pleasure. Happy to be on the show. Very inspired by your work and your platform that you've built. So thank you for having me on.
I want to ask you, like, I'm going to go right to it. A lot of people have told me, hey, bring a few of the people that have gone heavy into tech. You produce a lot of content on TikTok and YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have reached out and they said, hey, why don't you bring on some of the TikTok and YouTube streamers onto the show? And I said, yeah, why not? Let me start reaching out. And I really wanted to talk to you about XRP. Right now, I don't know. Your connection's off a little bit. Maybe we can restart this. I don't know if you hear me or if you see me here on my side. Let me bring you right. Hold on one second. What a day today. What a day today, man. You gotta love technology, man. You gotta love tech. We're gonna wait for let's see if Zach can go ahead and iron out his issues with I think it's his side with the internet. So we'll wait for him to come back. Welcome to the breakdown. We'll be joined by Zach in a few. Yeah, I thought it was me for a second, but it's not. But we'll be right back with him. Let him go ahead and fix. Let him. Yeah, somebody said that was a quick interview. We'll be back. We'll be back, and we'll talk to him as he goes ahead and resolves his issues. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown. We had Taylor on. I mean, I've always offered Taylor to come on. Like, there has not been a day where I said, oh, Taylor, you can't come on to the show. For her to come on here and blast me, the disrespect to come on to this show and blast me is crazy. Is absolutely crazy. The disrespect. Crypto's heating up, by the way. Crypto's heating up. The markets are looking back. Look, even if we go sideways, and I keep saying this, even if we continue to chop this way, take this time to look at, I'm going to say this again, and you guys know I'm repetitive with this. Look at your reports. See if your position or your positions are ones that are going to run when the bull comes back. It's really simple. Y'all have the tools. gmarkets.io. You can go on there. You can look up data. It's getting an upgrade. We're going to version 2.0. Look at these things. Look at your port. Use the tech that's available to front run the markets. Why must we have this conversation all the time? Front run the market. Like I'm going to say this again. Front run the markets. Get into projects that have builders behind them. I'm going to say this one more time. Get into projects that have actual builders building, because that's who we need to support in this space. We got Zach back. Let's try third time's the charm, okay? Third time's the charm. Zach, what's going on?
Can you hear me now, David?
I hear you now, and obviously your connection's good. What's going on, Zach?
It's doing fantastic. I told my wife to get off the Wi-Fi, and she unplugged it and plugged it back in. So I think we have a good connection now. My apologies.
I'm like, he hates me already. He's gone. He's gone.
No, I'm here, David, as long as you need me.
Zach, let me ask you. Okay, so let's start this off. When did you first? And I hate this question, but I got to ask you because it's first time meeting. When did you get into crypto? And And particularly, what was the first asset that attracted you to crypto?
Like many of us, it was Bitcoin. It was back in 2018 after I watched that big 2017 bull run. I said, what the heck's going on here? And so I started investing in Bitcoin and digital assets in 2018. And then by 2019, I'd broadened my horizon and I was buying a bunch of altcoins like XRP. And I've been making content since 2021.
What was it about XRP that really made you? It seems like you really have gone all in on it. What was it about Ripple XRP that made you say, "Oh, this is something that I need to go, really go ahead and have massive conviction in"?
It was just so easy to understand the utility. And also, it was kind of just a hedge of maybe this is the banker's coin, but the banks don't like to lose. And so let's position ourselves here. I still think that XRP is a great digital asset for folks to utilize. And this is before we get some of the amendments and the upgrades that are coming later this year. We've seen XRP really evolve from that banker's coin to now a whole DeFi ecosystem that's about to be rolled out later this year. So this is a much different XRP from 2018 when I first got into it, but just understanding the cross-border payment use case. Now, obviously, it's much more. Ripple's expanded what they do. And so I think that's what drew me to XRP from the start, was just understanding the utility, the use case, and the problem that it was solving.
I want to ask you this question. Why do you think XRP, Ripple, uh, why do you think why do you think the asset gets such a bad rap?
Well, there's a down with the banks crowd that absolutely hates that it's, the quote unquote banker's coin. I also think that it's a big threat. It's viewed as a threat to a lot of other digital assets, Bitcoin and Ethereum. We've seen, you know, some pushback from those communities, which we've just been advocating for removing that tribalism from the crypto space. It's bad enough that we have the banks trying to suppress us. The Clarity Act DC drama that we're watching unfold. We have enough working against us. We don't need to be attacking each other. And XRP has a lot of the same characteristics of Bitcoin. It's just cheaper, faster, and more efficient. And I think that if we isn't behind, and let's focus on moving this industry forward together. Let's let the best project win on the merits, on a level playing field. That's what I hope for.
Do you think it has anything to do with, because I've watched this on TikTok. And I'm not saying it's you. There are people that go out there. I remember seeing this one time, 10 years before New Year's. I forgot the person's name. Influencer on TikTok for crypto, especially for XRP, says, well, XRP is going to go from this number, and I forgot the number at the time, to $25,000.
Mhm.
Do you think some of these influencers, knowing that there is a huge XRP army, I hold XRP, I've continued to hold XRP, but do you feel like that type of rhetoric does go ahead and make the army, or it attracts the people that see that and say, you know what, this is why these people are delusional, and this is why XRP will never end up being anything?
Yeah, it's a bad representation of what XRP and the broader XRP community really is. But it's like anything on the internet. There's going to be people clowning around here no matter what the topic is, no matter what the crypto is. And what I try to do with my platform is to cut through that noise. So the people that say, hey, we're going to 20,000 by this date because something's going to happen, we cut through that noise. And we also cut through the FUD. Well, people that are saying that it's going to zero, it's not being used, Ripple's abandoning it. And there's two ways to go viral making XRP content. It's to talk about it going to $10,000 and make a riddle. And then the other way to go viral is to say that XRP is dead and the XRP FUD content. And so I just try to push back on both that, shoot it straight. I think this is a great opportunity to make life-changing gains on the asset, but I also think that it's part of a new financial system that everybody should understand.
Meme culture is making a comeback. I like memes in terms of, I like meme culture, and I believe any protocol that understands memes will ultimately gain a huge audience, which then they can go ahead and showcase the products that they've built. I've seen a few memes being built on XRP. Um, what's your take? would you love to see? Because what Solana has done right now is whatever Ethereum had, Solana has slowly taken away the mind share away from Ethereum, away from a base, and they have an audience which now they can, in my opinion, they can sell to institutions. They can sell their products that they're building. Could you see XRP or Ripple doing the same thing, embracing meme culture, building a bigger audience, and then showcasing their products?
Yeah, this is a big misconception is people think that you can't do anything on the XRP ledger. Now, up until the last few years, that was really true. XRP ledger was a lean, mean, payment efficient machine, right? That's what it did. But we didn't have NFTs. We didn't have an AMM. We didn't have a launch pad for meme coins. This all changed in the past couple years. We saw First Ledger built the platform for launching memes on the XRP ledger. And funny, we actually have some of the best, we have the best environment to trade memes. We have the best environment for an AI agentic economy because we're fast, cheap, and efficient. That's what you need. And, to your point, in late 2024, First Ledger launched, which was the launch pad for memes on the XRP ledger. We already saw a little bit of a token wave in 2021. A lot of scams were launched on the XRP ledger when people realized that they could launch tokens on the XRP ledger very easily. Fast forward to 2024, we got that meme coin platform, and we did get a little bit of money coming over from Solana. A little bit of the guys came over, and there was a little bit of a trenches established on the XRP ledger. But that had a little bit of a life that carried into 2025, and then our bull run kind of came to an end. And since then, obviously, liquidity's been pulled out of memes on Ethereum, Solana, XRP. It doesn't matter what chain it is. But this is exactly what I'm getting at, David. Most people that own XRP aren't paying attention to this. 99% of crypto has no clue that this is about to happen, which is the DeFi ecosystem on XRP. This is not just a banker's coin anymore. This is not just a coin that you hold, you wait for Ripple to do something, you solve some riddles, and you hope that it goes to 10K. That is not the XRP of 2026. And we're perfectly set up with our DeFi ecosystem rolling out at the same time that we get Clarity Act, which also gives us the rules of the road to participate in DeFi and this type of activity in a regulated environment. And so while some folks might not be a fan of meme coins and that type of degenerate activity, I've been saying, hey, let these guys, if they're going to be a degen somewhere, let them come do it on the XRP ledger. Lock up more XRP, burn more XRP. And it's the same functionality that allows for institutional tokenization, functionality that allows for the meme coins. I'm a fan of it both. I want to see both.
Do you think if the Clarity Act gets passed, and we know there's about $16 to $17 trillion waiting to come into the markets, does XRP greatly benefit from this act passing more than anybody else?
It's in a great spot because if it doesn't pass, we are right. If it does pass, we're perfectly positioned with Ripple waiting to go live with all of their US partners that they had to hold off on proceeding with back when the SEC filed the lawsuit in 2020. So for those who don't know, Ripple was already working with Bank of America. They were already working with US institutions. And then the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit dropped. So I believe that they're waiting for that Clarity Act to pass. And then their bank and institutional partners in the US can kindly come out of the shadows and say, yes, we are in fact partnered up with Ripple. We are going to use the XRP ledger. And so I think that either way, XRP is perfectly positioned for institutional adoption if the Clarity Act passes. And if it doesn't pass, I still think that we're ready for that institutional adoption because the banks and institutions can look at the legal precedent XRP has and know that XRP is not a security. And through the rulemaking process and the guidance that we're already getting from the SEC and CFTC, that's everything that we need and everything that the banks and institutions need to really get the ball rolling. So I think that it is set to benefit. It'll be one of the best performers this next cycle again. And David, your audience should take note. Up until next two cycles, very speculative, and a lot of the money was flowing in these other ecosystems. This all changed when President Trump came in the second time. Look at how these cryptos performed this last cycle. What I like to do is I like to measure from the November 2024 lows. XRP was at 50 cents right before the election, and then it pumped to $3.66. That's a 600% swing on XRP. That's a bigger swing than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana combined. So the stats tell us a very interesting story about the next reality that we're entering with rules and regulation, a mature institutional environment. Who benefits the most? XRP swung 600%, XLM swung 600%, HBAR swung 800%. These are assets with utility based in America. XRP is perfectly positioned for that.
Welcome to the breakdown, by the way, everybody. Episode 758. Joined here with by Zach here, and we're discussing the markets. I want to ask you: Do you believe Ripple doesn't get enough credit for fighting for the crypto industry during the time where obviously they were attacked? Last day, Jay Clayton throws out that lawsuit against Ripple, and now they're fighting it out, spending millions of dollars to go ahead and get that ultimate verdict, classifying XRP as not a security.
It's fun now to listen to Brad and David Schwartz. Now that David has left Ripple, he can speak a little bit more freely, and we're starting to get some of the stories of what happened back then. Brad Garlinghouse just revealed that they almost sold off the company when the lawsuit dropped. And this is because they were personally being sued, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. And the SEC was trying to intimidate them into just, giving this case up. They said, we'll drop the charges against you personally, and we'll just go after the company, if you cooperate with us. They didn't do that. And it wasn't just for their own selfish interest. They went and set a precedent here that the rest of the industry can kind of look at. You can look at how Ripple did things in the past, and they obviously did have to pay a fine for how some of those sales were conducted, but they changed how they started selling XRP back in 2019 before the lawsuit even dropped, which is they've only been selling to institutional partners and clients since then. But to your point, Ripple didn't have to do this. They didn't have to spend $150 million fighting. Every opportunity that they've had to just move in their own selfish interest, that's not what they've done. They've been speaking for the broader crypto ecosystem, and they echo the same statements that I made earlier about rejecting tribalism in crypto, about rooting for Bitcoin. We've been saying, tokenize Bitcoin, put it on the XRP ledger. Let's build a bridge with Solana in that ecosystem. Let's work with these other ecosystems together. So I definitely think that Ripple has not been given enough credit for that. I think, definitely worthy of more.
Why do you let's dive deeper a little bit if you have time. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Ripple has not received that credit?
What's good for crypto is good for Ripple. What's good for crypto is good for XRP. And this is the thing, David, when you're confident about your own skills, your abilities, and when you know that you can win on the merits, you don't need the government to pick you as the winner and pick others as the losers. This all goes back to what made America great, is we had a free market capitalist system where the best entrepreneurs and builders and capitalists would win, right? And Ripple knows that. They know that on a level playing field, they have a spot. There's a reason why XRP's been in the top 10 cryptos for the past 12 years. Despite everything that's been thrown our way, all of the FUD, all of the lawsuits, we haven't left the top 10, right? And we've just been saying, hey, give us a level playing field and let us go to work. And I think that it would be beautiful to see that mentality from other people in the space. But I think that there is a concern, and there's a little bit of a threat that is felt with other ecosystems that know that they can't hold up and do feel threatened. And just look at the ETFs as an example, right? All of Wall Street rolled out their Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs first, and then they rolled out the XRP ETFs. But if you look at the numbers, the XRP ETFs have seen nothing but inflows since inception. So there's a real story here of, on a level playing field, how well XRP does. Once the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit was over and Trump came back, we were one of the best performing assets this last bull run, right? And on when we get the Clarity Act and we get the rules of the road here, we'll get to see who gets institutional adoption. I am so excited for us to be past the day of accepting excuses from these crypto projects, whether it be Ripple, name any other crypto projects. You've been investing in this space for a while. You know what I'm talking about. With all of these promises, we have a partnership. Okay, what does that partnership actually entail? With the Clarity Act passing, we get to ask ourselves, where does the rubber meet the road? Right? What exactly do these partnerships entail? I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that people thought that partnerships with Ripple wouldn't necessarily lead to XRP adoption. And Ripple's not going to shove XRP down their partners' throats. They've been very clear about that. But where XRP does have a product market fit, where it does create efficiencies, they are absolutely helping their clients adopt XRP. And they continue to reiterate that all of their acquisitions, G Treasury, Ripple, Hidden Road, the prime brokerage, right? This is 16 trillion of flows between the G Treasury company and the Hidden Road prime brokerage that Ripple now owns and was cleared last year. And they've made it very clear that they want to bring that to the XRP ledger. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that take place.
When all said and done, where do you see? Do you see? Let's. This is going to be a clip. 100%. Do you see in the next 5 years? Could you see XRP flipping Ethereum?
Oh yeah, with ease.
What would be what would be your thesis on why it would flip Ethereum?
Ethereum's bleeding from all the competition from Ethereum layer 2s and other networks like Solana. And there's too many bag holders in Ethereum, I think, that are waiting for the $10,000 Ethereum that didn't come last cycle. Now, there's plenty of bag holders waiting for XRP to go to $10 too. So I'm not negating that fact too, myself included.
Me too.
Right?
I'm here.
Right. But look at Ethereum last cycle. Like, Ethereum just doesn't have the mojo, the attention that it had before. And so I do think that XRP is going to flip Ethereum this next cycle. Yeah, I do predict that.
I'm glad we worked through our way through the technical difficulties in the beginning. It's great to have you on this show. Hopefully, I can get you on next month, 2 months from now, so we can go ahead and chop it up again. I do think Ripple XRP really gets a bad rap. I've been holding forever. People say it's the banker's token. Well, you know what? The banks aren't going anywhere, and that's one thing that I've always stated. Like, the banks are not going anywhere. So I can care less. At the end of the day, if it brings a solution to the banking industry that makes, at the end of the day, payments go faster, good. Because grandma ain't coming over to crypto. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. There are people that are still going to the post office and sending mail off. Okay, so there is a use case for everyone and everything. And I have no problem with XRP dominating the banking industry. That's it. And that's been my solid case when I speak to my fellow Bitcoiners and XRP maxis. It's me just saying, look, we're not there. We're going somewhere else. We're not there. Let them go ahead and build the infrastructure there. Real quick, do you see XRP and Chainlink coming together and working together? Since one, people with Chainlink is you had BlackRock come out say Chainlink could be something that we tokenize assets on. Could you see the two coming together and working together?
They should. I'll call out, I think his name's Zach. Well, I know his name's Zach. Zach Rines, who's the community liaison for Chainlink. He should stop coming at us. Like, we should be collaborating, right?
Yeah.
XRP Ledger is about to get an Oracle's amendment. Chainlink should and will be an Oracle that we tap into. So like I said, it's unfortunate that, people still want to do this tribalism deal. Let's grow up, let's mature, and let's work together. I think that Chainlink and XRP Ledger absolutely should be partnered up. And I just want to give you a shout out too, David. I think that we need more reasonable voices, bringing awareness to XRP. I think that you do a good job of that. That's what I try to do as well too. Like you pointed out, there's a lot of sensationalism. XRP to $1 million this year based off of a riddle. I like solving riddles too. I like having fun and dreaming of XRP going to 10,000 too. But the reality is that even if this sucker just goes to $10, you have a life-changing opportunity just in that.
Yeah.
And so if we can get people just excited about conservative XRP numbers and XRP speculation, let's be pleasantly surprised when we go much, much higher. But I just want to give you a shout out. And I think that we need more reasonable voices talking about XRP. It doesn't have to be the end all be all, but it's definitely not going to zero. It's definitely not dead. And I think a lot of people are going to regret not buying it while it's trading at $1 right now before it heads to 10.
I agree with you, and I think everybody can participate here, and that's been my message the entire. Listen, I've been here for years, and I've been saying the same thing. Like, you know what? I get Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, but there are things here that can operate, and we can all get along. I mean, we all came here for one reason, and that reason in the beginning was for gains. I don't want to hear anybody say anything otherwise. But then, if you actually love or fall in love with this place, you stick around and you look at this tech and you're like, this shit can change things. So I appreciate that. Shout out to what you're doing. I mean, I'm looking at TikTok. The numbers went up, so people are obviously tuned into you when it comes to XRP and I guess all things crypto. And I'd love to bring you back on the show again in a month or two to go ahead and chop it up. Hopefully by then, maybe we just have the Clarity Act passed and we get that 16 to 17 trillion dollars that's on the sidelines start slowly creeping into our industry.
Sounds good to me, David.
And I apologize, man. My editor, man, missed the H. We'll go ahead and get that corrected. I just saw that. Apologies on that, but thank you so much.
I appreciate it, David. We'll see you soon.
That's Zach. Zach, if you guys know, hey, you guys asked for me to bring on. Cool dude, man. Listen, realistic expectations is the only thing that I asked of the XRP community. Realistic expectations. It's not going to $30,000. Like when I hear the $30,000 token within 10 days, that's the only thing that I can combat. Like when I have these discussions and debates with people, and they're like, well, people are saying it's going to 10 or $50,000 per. I can't fight those things off. Remember when I was on here and people were, I'm pointing to TikTok particularly, when I was on here and people said, well, it's going from like $2 to $30,000 within 10 days. I'm like, how? So we got to be more realistic. And I don't care what anybody says. I've always said that XRP has a place, man. XRPL, the ledger, like it has a place here. Okay? It has it. By the way, shout out to David Schwartz, man. David Schwartz was one of my first big interviews within crypto. David Schwartz came on, surprised me. The man surprised me. One of the first big interviews in crypto. Shout out to David Schwartz, man. Really cool guy, too. It was a really cool conversation. I wish I had it, man. Periscope, man. What the fuck? Took down everything, man. But anyway, we'll be right back. Right after this commercial break, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit crypto, talk shop about that, and then we'll close up shop. It is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Well, I'm not gonna. Should I do call-ins? I don't know if I should do call-ins. Well, welcome back to the show, guys. On TikTok, finally, we're not limited. We're not limited. The haters are not reporting. If you guys want to see me bring on somebody on the TikTok side, let me know. Send me a DM. Holler at Tech or holler at Fran. Let's see who you guys want me to bring on from the TikTok side. Okay, the TikTok crypto guys who left X and went to TikTok because they saw the opportunity to expand. Let's go ahead. If they want to come on here, we can go ahead and chop it up, especially if they want to do XRP. Let's go ahead and talk XRP. But let's be realistic when we talk about this, okay? Let's be realistic about the goddamn price. Tech, it doesn't matter to me, okay? Let's bring on the biggest influencers on TikTok to this show, okay? There you go. I'm offering peace, okay? I am offering peace to the TikTok crypto bros, okay? If you want peace and you really are all about the community and you want to go one-on-one with the great one, I'm more than happy to bring you on this show. So let's get it going. Contact your favorite influencer. Contact your favorite personality on here that creates good content and good value. And let's go one-on-one. Let's go ahead and sit down. Come on to this show, The Breakdown, one of the top shows. It's undeniable. You can't deny it. Your grandma watches it. Your grandfather watches this. Your ex-girl is literally watching me right now as I am on this mic. fighting through seasonal allergies. I am here. I am here on this microphone and everybody hears me. We got a lot of guests coming on, but we can go and we can stretch out this show for 3 hours. It depends on who it is. My DMs are open on TikTok. Go ahead and holler at me. Shout out to Zach for coming on. Shout out to Zach for coming on. Appreciate that. Shout out to Taylor. Taylor came on. She's a part of the Goksheen News Network. Tune into her show. She's going to be doing her show 3 times a week starting next week. Tune into her. I want to talk to people in AI too. I want to talk to some AI influencers. Somebody give me an AI influencer. Okay, I want to talk to you, an AI expert, whatever you want to call yourself. Get your ass on the show. We need to have a conversation. I want to talk about how AI and crypto, they're basically essentially should be married together. Because I'll say this, AI gives crypto a use case. Let's bring on somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to AI. Whoever Madison is, tell Madison, let's go. Contact my people. My people will contact his people, and we'll go ahead and with a shadow of a doubt, without no shadow of a doubt, that this, man, I am so fucking hype. I don't know if it's because I took a piss just now. I really don't know. I'm just keeping it 100. Shout out to Midnight. Midnight is the official prediction. Excuse me. Rewind. Midnight will be one of the top protocols, privacy protocol. What the fuck? You know what it is? This is what happens when I get too excited. I get too excited. I start fumbling on my words. I sound like Biden. But let me do this again. Shout out to Midnight. Okay. Privacy Network. One of the biggest privacy networks that you will see within our industry. Okay. Everywhere Charles has gone, he's won. Charles will be on the show next month as well. And we're going to chop it up. We're going to chop it up because why do you keep asking him about Ethereum? It's time to go ahead and talk about what he's building now. And that is Cardano and obviously Midnight. Why are we talking about anything else? Now, also, Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. Also, Cake Wallet. Shout out to Cake Wallet. Shout out to Cake Wallet. Shout out to Vic, because if it wasn't for Vic, I wouldn't have been buying the amount of fucking Monero that I have. And I'm not talking about now. It was before that I made that decision. Shout out to Vic for that. He should be the unofficial or the official spokesperson for fucking Monero. Bottom line. G Markets, if you want the latest news on your favorite cryptocurrency, data, top people that are talking about crypto, we have all that. Okay? Sentiment, all that stuff. Also, Goksheen PR. It came out this week. Check out GoksheenPR.com. Okay? Excited about that. And I think I have the green light to finally put Goksheen.com live out there for the general public so you guys can get all your news, whether it's crypto, traditional finance, politics, sports, everything in one place on Goksheen.com. And then we got 2 to 3 other products coming out, and we got big time news. I am excited. I am happy. I'm absolutely happy. What would make me happier is if these sinuses, man, what the fuck? I did a space yesterday. I actually did 2 spaces on X yesterday. And I had a conversation about things that were said. I'm happy that things were aired out and at least people know where I stand on certain topics and issues and within crypto and what's happening in crypto and things that are moving. I'm happy that, and I hope that people understand, even though I've had, once again, some clips sent off to me where I guess people did not get the message. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't really care anymore. If I have to continue to come out and say, hey guys, I haven't dissed anybody, I haven't done it, I'm done. Y'all make up your own stories. I'm moving forward. I got my shit to. I gotta focus. I gotta focus on my own thing. I can't be going back and forth. I just can't. This is why, and it's one of the reasons why I left hosting X Spaces. It's one of those things that I said, I'm not doing this no more. It's too much. It's too much drama. It's like, yo, motherfuckers really take social media this serious? Like, it's not that serious. I'm hanging out with adults, and I want to hang out with adults. I can care less about the kiddie stuff. I think we're going to have a phenomenal run. I think we are going to absolutely have one of the most dynamic runs, especially in the memes, that you have ever seen in your lives. I really believe that. I believe the altcoin season will also come. I separate altcoins and memes. They're two different sectors for me. I believe we are destined to see one of the most electrifying runs of all time. And I think the people that will win, the builders and the developers that will win, are those with absolutely marvelous network connections. Those who have built the foundation that is built, but has been built in a bear and not in a bull. Because when you build in a bull, everybody's excited with green candles. But when you build in a bear where it's all red, and you're building something out, those things last. Those things are multi-cycle. Those things will stick around for a while. And I can't wait to see it. I talk about my white bull movement. Regardless if there's a ticker to it or not, I am going to make sure that people rally behind the movement that I offer, and that is a movement to bring back the old culture that we are missing. No more of this bullshit. No more of the Fortnite kids telling us what the meta is. Somebody said, yo, bro, like, you missed the meta. I ain't missed nothing. I ain't missed nothing. We run this shit, and I said this on my space yesterday. All of us combined run everything. We can run everything. Do not allow, I will not participate in the same fuckery that we had a few years ago. I'm not doing it. And I know people feel the same way like me. I know people that tune in to me feel the same way like me. It is impossible not to feel this way. Now, if you enjoy this Fortnite simulation, 13-year-old kids telling you, thanks for the bandos, bitches, dumping on your foreheads. If you enjoy that, if you enjoy getting smacked with a pair of balls, that's on you. I don't enjoy balls being on my eyelids, okay? I'm not into having ball sacks or being teabagged by anybody, okay? I don't enjoy it. My ass is going to make sure that we all come, we're going to sing Kumbaya together. We're going to all come together. Okay, we're all going to come together. And we're going to send this motherfucker. And there could be multiple runners. Okay, there doesn't have to be just one. It could be multiple runners at the same fucking time. And we could be singing Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya, that's right. And who's going to be leading with a show? It's me, the most dynamic personality that you'll ever meet. It doesn't matter for, not just crypto. Welcome to the breakdown. Who's going to carry the boats? Me. Who's going to carry the boats? Me. Shout out to David Goggins. We're going to have David Goggins on the show. I ain't telling anybody when. It's gonna be. This is. I gotta tell you, Goggins. David Goggins has 100% inspired me, and he should inspire the bitch in you. And that's not gender specific. I'm saying he should inspire the bitch in you for real to do something productive. To do something productive. Listen, man. When I'm gonna tell you like this, when the Clarity Act hits, and I'm not a big fan of it, but we gotta acknowledge this. I'm not a big fan of the Clarity Act, the way it's been written. I don't know what kind of bill it is now compared to what it started as, but if it passes, and you have BlackRock now coming out there saying it should pass, and you have all these major institutions coming out, let's pass the Clarity Act, and they're pushing for this. $17 trillion is on the sidelines, if not more, that will be heading into this industry. I'm not talking about into your favorite meme. I'm just saying there's going to be liquidity pouring in. And I also believe we're going to see some profit taking from the traditional markets also making its way into crypto. If you are not being serious about this right now, if you are watching me and you are letting this go one ear out the other kind of thing, you deserve to be where you're at, okay? Don't blame anybody. Blame yourself, okay? Actually, I'd blame your parents for not going ahead and using Plan B on you, okay? Because there is no way that you have this opportunity and you're letting it slide like this. Do you understand what is going to happen? Do you understand what's coming here? Do you understand? And I ask you, my audience, I ask you, for those who tune in, and for those who replay, and those who are watching from different countries and not just the United States of America, you see this flag and you're like, this is a proud American. This is what an American looks like. This is what the next president is going to look like. But we have other countries tuning into this show. We have other people tuning in to watch me. And I promise you, I make you this promise, that if we all align together, we will win. Fuck the cabals, fuck KOLs, fuck the influencers, okay? They don't set the meta, we do, okay? We the people. We the people, and I say, and I'm not trying to joke and I'm not being sarcastic, it's we the people that send or set the trend, not them. And I'll be more than happy. I have no problem. I've been dragged. So at the end of the day, I have no problem going into battle. As long as I got an army behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in to one of the most electrifying programs on any social media platform. And you know that because you continue to watch, whether you like me or not. You know that the rest of the shows are fucking boring. You fall asleep. I fall asleep, okay? I go into and I pass out. What am I hearing? It's dog shit. Man, I'm trying to pop this ear, bro. I'm about to run into a fucking wall just to get this ear to pop. The builders deserve, and this is the one thing I want to talk about. Builders deserve to be spotlighted in this industry. The one thing that we have not done great in crypto, I don't want to speak for myself because I think I've been very supportive of a lot of people that have built and continue to build. 100% I've been extremely supportive of those who build because it is a very tough job. We have builders out here that are not making any sort of money. They are bleeding money, but they continue to grind away and build because they believe in something. What happened to believing in something? Why do people get trolled for believing in something? Why do they get disrespected for believing in something? We used to appreciate people that believed in something. We used to appreciate our builders, not chase them out. We used to clap for them. Because without them, we don't have this space. The innovators that have come out here and given up their lives to make and build the foundation of what you call crypto, gave up their lives to allow us to drive on this freeway. Why are we not supporting our builders? Why are we not supporting our greatest content creators or media personalities out here that provide value, our greatest educators? Why are we not being supportive? Yesterday, I said, why don't motherfuckers support my independent network that I've been absolutely hammering away, hemorrhaging money, losing money, but coming out here day in and day out, providing value? Why don't you support me? Why do you support Cointelegraph and CoinDesk that are run by institutional players and VCs? Why not me? It wasn't a cry. It was just like, you guys know me. I am building brick by brick, as my boy Sakasa would say. Why aren't you tuning into the news that's coming out from our channel? Why are you? And I ask this respectfully, why are you supporting people you don't know, but it's so hard to support people you do know? Why is it so hard for you to support a motherfucker that's building? Because I've been out here supporting you. Why not support me? Two-way street. Why don't you put me on a pedestal like I put you on a pedestal? This wasn't me crying or bitching. It was me saying, look at the world and the way the world works. Y'all would rather support celebrities dropping tokens than somebody that you know trying to develop something within this ecosystem. Why is that? Why can't you support your own? Why is it so difficult? What is it? Ego? Is it pride that stops you from supporting your own? Why? Because you don't want to see your boy do better? You know, it's funny when you first start off being an entrepreneur, everybody's supporting you. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, let's rally. But when you start climbing and you're really climbing, well, those are the same people that stop supporting. Why is that? Why would you rather support Amazon, respectfully, why would you rather support Amazon than the motherfucker on the corner, your friend who has opened up a shop that has the same products, might be 50 cents more, but why not support him? That's the same analogy I'm using. Why are you supporting every single body? Why are you supporting people that aren't in the circle, strangers, over people that you know? And the point here is, when you do that, the current state of crypto reflects it. Because you support randoms. You ain't supporting people that have built, that have trooped. Yeah, we failed. I've already said, at the end of the day, my track record, 85, 80, 80, 85, 90%, I think, 80%, 85, 90, whatever, in terms of, let's say, calls. But I've gone in with good intentions. Win, lose, or draw, you're gonna fail, but you know what? It's not really failure. It's a lesson it's a lesson. It's a learning lesson. You don't lose. Like when you're an entrepreneur and you're trucking away and you're building, you're not losing. You're learning. You don't gotta support me, man. Nobody gotta support you. But holy fuck, if you see a motherfucker grinding out here and you know how difficult it is, why don't you go ahead and say, you know what, I see him, and be genuine about it. Like, hey man, this motherfucker, me, Gokhshtein, media, we're going after Fox. We're going after CNB. We're going after everybody. Respectfully, in a healthy fashion. I'm not saying I hope they go ahead and go to bankruptcy. We're going after, this is who I'm going after. I ain't gonna win if I don't have the support of the community, though. And if you want, I guess if you want CNBC, Fox Business, and all them guys to control the narrative, I'm not trying to, and by the way, I want to say this, I'm not trying to control the narrative with this media company that I have. I'm just trying to report on our space. The ones that will control the narrative are the ones that own the media. Mainstream media is owned by institutional players. Do you not see that crypto is reported on bullishly now? Why? Because the institutions are bullish, so now the shit that they own, which is 90% of mainstream media, is bullish. When BlackRock wasn't bullish, when Warren Buffett, I'll name them all, Vanguard, Fidelity, when all these people were not bullish on crypto, guess how they reported on crypto? Bearishly, correct? Jamie Dimon's bullish on crypto. You support him over somebody like me. How disrespectful you guys are. Shout out to the real ones that do understand how hard it is to build, that support me day in and day out. I fuck with you guys. I'm just saying we can win together. That's all I'm saying. But to win together, in order to win, we got to be honest about being in the trenches together, in the foxhole together, watching my six. Okay, that we got to be honest about that, and that's the only way we can win. Otherwise, the KOLs and the cabals will win. Okay, they're paying these people. They're gonna probably shut me down on this network. They're gonna shut down. They're gonna definitely shut down my streams when I say this kind of stuff. But they got industry plants up in this motherfucker. You ain't got a chance in hell to win. You want to see what happens to you this time around? Just look at what happened to you last cycle. That's all you got to look. They're already designing the plan. The plans are in motion. You're going to get into the things we like. And you're going to be good little exit liquidities. And you're going to get into the things that we like. We're going to set the meta. Welcome to the breakdown. I'll be back right after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. It's 2:22 p.m. on the East Coast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We had Taylor on. Taylor, Talk to Me Taylor is a program that airs on the Gakshi Media Network. I know a lot of people have said, I've looked at the DMs. People are excited to go ahead and tune into her. Her show airs, I think next week will start airing from Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you can tune into that. I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She has a lot to say. She's unfiltered. And I like that. I like people that just speak their fucking mind. And that's what you'll get with Taylor. And I'm sure she'll have some really good guests on. She was out there on the red carpets interviewing some of the biggest celebrities in the world. You can go look back at her catalog and stuff. Really, really good personality. 100% a really, really good personality. And she'll be joining us. She'll be joining us every Thursday at 12:45 for 10 to 15 minutes to break down what's trending and touch on certain topics here. Also, shout out to Zach for coming on here today to talk about XRP and the markets and the Clarity Act. Appreciate him coming on. He's well known on YouTube and on TikTok. And I'm going to bring on more people from TikTok. Obviously, we have a good audience on TikTok. As long as they don't limit us in reach, we can go ahead and continue to climb higher and higher and higher. But I have no problem with bringing on anybody from the TikTok side of things, the influencers on there, to go ahead and chop it up and break down the market. So you guys, Tech, my moderating team, Tech and Fran, like if you guys want to reach out to anybody, let's go ahead and bring them on and let's make it a good one and put on a really good show for the audience. Shout out to X, formerly known as Twitter. Much love that you guys show up every single day for me. Shout out to Getter, doing great there. Getter is a great place. I don't know, for me it's a great place because we talk about politics on there and people are really into politics there. And we're coming out with a product that is going to actually help us in terms of reach to continue to go higher and higher. And I'm excited. I can't wait. I think next week we'll go ahead and drop it, but I got to drop Gokhshtein.com first. And I'm excited. I'm excited about I'm already looking at it. It's definitely dope. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys bookmark it. And I hope you guys go to it for the latest information in finance, politics, and trending news. I would appreciate it. For those who do, appreciate you. Also, you got Gokhshtein PR. For anybody looking to level up their brands, for anybody who has a product that you want it to be seen, GokhshteinPR.com. And honestly, we're selective. So it's like if we're not responding to you, which we should, and I'm gonna make sure that it gets taken care of. But if you don't get selected by us, we're picky. We're not just gonna work with anybody. We're not working with somebody that just came out with a token yesterday called, dick in the dog's ear or some shit. Like, we're not doing that. Okay, we're working with real companies. I've worked with real companies, and that's how we're going to do things. And I think that our PR firm, with me in it, I've been through everything. I know this is repetitive, but I've been through everything. I know how social media works, and I know how to present the product. So shout out to the firm, and also, again, the show, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow's Friday. We got some people coming on. We got some guests coming on, some really cool guests. And then we'll also have Rob. If Rob's still not mad at me for missing his show yesterday, we'll have Rob and we'll have Landy for a 15-minute session. We'll go back and forth in terms of politics. I did see a little bit of Rob's show yesterday. He was crying about Iran again. So I'm sure this guy is just not going to let go of Iran. This dude is just going to continue to talk about Iran. Anyway, love you guys. I got to go work on some things. It's 2:26 p.m. You guys have a wonderful day and an even better tomorrow. And that's my boy Akil Patterson, a.k.a. Big Unk.